RingKe gave me some cases for the Samsung Galaxy S20 and we're gonna go check them out and see what I think. Let's go over what they all have in common first, and they all have wrist strap holes or lanyard holes on both sides of the cases. All the buttons are really tactile and clicky, and usually the power button is textured so you can even feel for it without even looking at your phone. First up, we have the Air series. These are your typical clear cases. We do have the clear and the black version. For me, I do like the black one better just because I like that smoky look. In my hands, they feel great. It's a typical TPU feel, so not too smooth and just enough to actually have a good grip in your hands. And these cases are thinner than other clear cases I've experienced, and that may be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you like. For me, these are probably my favorite ones just because they are minimal. They have no bulk at all when I pick them up, so it doesn't feel like I have a case on. And I don't drop my cases too often unless it's an accident, so I would say this case, it's good enough to protect from those situations. It's a very flexible case, so putting it on and taking it off is super easy without any efforts. There is a bump in between the lanyard holes, so that's something I would need to get used to just because usually it's flush there, so that's something to consider while holding this case. Next up is the Fusion Matte. It is another clear case and the back panel is plastic, so this is more rigid and more stiff than the Air series. And usually I don't like plastic backs because it kind of feels cheap in my hands. It's really smooth, and over time the oil builds up in the grease as well as it becomes a fingerprint magnet. And now with the matte finish, it kind of fixes some of the problems. You don't really get as much fingerprints, so you don't have to wipe it down a lot, and you don't really see a lot of the oil marks from your fingers. It is still slippery though, and if you do happen to get a deep cut or scratch on the back, it's going to be there forever. When you're holding it, it feels pretty thin, kind of close to the Air series. I would say just a bit thicker, and the sides are still TPU, so if you're holding it in your hands, it's not going to be as slippery, so I would say that's a smart move and not having a case being all plastic. Last up, we have the black and blue Fusion X. This one is the most bulkiest one, so of course it offers the best protection. The overall look is pretty boxy, and on the sides, they are cut in a way where it does improve your grip when you're holding the case. The back is clear plastic, so you can see the full design of the phone. The bad thing is, of course, you will see the oils and the fingerprints in the future, and if you have it in your pocket a lot, you can see more of the lint and dust. And in the hands, like I said before, it has the best grip just because these edges or these cuts kind of just sits deeper in your fingers when you're holding it. The corners do stick out more, so that's how you get the boxy look, but if you drop it on the corners, it seems like it would do a better job at shock protection. The sides are TPU and it has more of a matte finish, so it is smoother than the other clear cases. And since all the sides are TPU on these cases, if you happen to drop them, you can easily wipe away the dust or dirt, and the case still looks pretty brand new. Like I said before, the only thing you would have to look out for is the scratches on the back because that's going to be there forever. So out of all the cases, not only this offers the best protection, but I would say this one feels the best in the hands when you're gripping it. So overall, these cases are pretty cheap on Amazon, and I would say that the quality you're getting is pretty worth it for that price. And if you happen to like thin cases like I do, the Air series is probably perfect for you, especially if you don't drop your phone a lot. It does feel like you don't even have a case on at all. And not a lot of case companies offer lanyard holes on their cases, especially being at both sides. And for drop protection, I would say that it's pretty good for everyday situations, from light drops to drops from your pocket height. But if you are working like at a construction site, you would probably want something more rigid or more bulky, so these cases are probably not for you. But anyways, I do recommend these cases if you are on a budget. I do have the links down below if you want to check them out. Please follow me on Instagram, give a like, subscribe, hit the bell, and thanks for watching.